DayZ just teased its biggest map ever and the community are in total chaos. The devs have made big promises, but is it actually a game changer? Let's take a look. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a subscribe, it really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Oh crap, I think I just heard somebody outside. It's fine guys, I brought my own head sack. Let's start off with the assets. So when Sakal was announced, everybody was excited that DayZ was going to be getting loads of new assets, but when the actual map dropped, some people were disappointed that so many assets were repurposed from maps like Chernarus and Livonia. And yes, it did come with a heap of new assets we'd never seen in a DayZ game before, and it also used old ones in new creative ways, but some players just weren't happy. So what about Nasdara? Well, Nasdara has been promised to bring the most assets we've ever seen in a DayZ update or map. If you look at the video here, you can see that none of this has ever been in official DayZ before. These are totally unique structures. That being said, some of them do kind of look familiar, and anybody who's played the map Takistan may see some repeat assets here, but look at it. You can see here just how different this map is going to be. The different buildings, the layout, the sizes, and not to mention that this is a very early stage. It's still got so much development to get through. We got this map announcement way before we even heard Sakal was a thing. And when they officially announced Sakal, it was only 3 months until we had the map in our hands. This isn't coming out till next year, meaning there's still a lot to do. But the second biggest complaint people seem to have about Sakal was the fact that the map was just based on Tanoa. And despite the fact that the devs made so many changes, some people still weren't happy with this. They weren't happy with the fact they'd taken a map from Armor and repurposed it, which caused quite a stir when people heard that we might be getting Takistan, because people were like, they're gonna take another map again and we're not happy with that. But that's not what's happening. This map, this base is completely original and has never been seen in Armor or DayZ before, but some players didn't care about the base. They did care about the size, and some players complained that Sakal was just too small, being the smallest DayZ map by a considerable amount. However, and you can kind of see where I'm going with this one, this new map is not small at all. In fact, it's the biggest map by large, and because it's landlocked, it's even bigger than it first appears, which is great. Although I did have like 2 or 3 comments from people the other day who were like, yeah, it's too big. I'm not a fan. Another thing people weren't a fan of was the focus on survival, which was strange for a map that was so small and so destined to be a PvP map. But things here have changed because this map looks like it's going to be more PvP based. This is a positive and a negative depending on where you stand on PvP. Some people in the comments pointed out that adding scope seems to point to a more sniper happy map, so it turns out the larger map might actually focus more on PvP than the smaller one, which nobody saw coming. But in my opinion, one of the most important parts, and certainly my favorite part, is the environmental storytelling this map seems like it's gonna bring. That was one of the things I praised Sakal for. You could feel the farmers living there, you could see them going to work every day. With this map, not only does it already come with a backstory, you can clearly see that it's a war-torn area, which opens the opportunity to so much lore building. But there is the elephant in the room, which brings me to point 4, which is the price. So we all know some people were just disappointed with the price of Sakal. They said it's half the price of a game, and some people took a real issue with it. I've said every time I've ever mentioned this, I will never tell somebody that it's too expensive. I'll never tell somebody it's too cheap. For me, I think it was fine. I've bought it several times now on several accounts, gifted it to people, given it away in competitions. There's a lot of times I've bought the map, so I'm sort of fine with the price. However, Nasdara or Badlands comes in at around $25. Now, considering we're getting a lot more assets and a much bigger map, this might actually make a lot of people happy, or it still might not. But what are your thoughts? Do you think it's priced right, or do you think that we're not going to get enough? And for more DayZ content, click here, or for something else, click here. And as always, until next time.